Was it worth it?
Oh, I had it there, and then I don't again.
I can't believe I'm actually sliding across this thing.
This is insane. Alright folks, welcome back to another archive episode. In this episode we're going to take a look at the Hippy Hop Knee Slide that I did for the film This Is Drop and Roll that we filmed back in 2015. And this was definitely one of the most challenging tricks I've ever done on my bike. The idea behind This Is Drop and Roll was meant to be a parody, a bit like Spinal Tap, where we dress up as a rock band with wigs over a helmet, leather jackets, shredded jeans, and we were going to basically make a music video to some hair metal, and instead of playing instruments, we rode our bikes. This Is Drop and Roll was a little bit of a different project for me, as I was riding with 3 other riders from the Drop and Roll team. We had Ali Clarkson, Duncan Shaw, and Fabio Wimmer, all world-class trials riders themselves. It definitely took the pressure off a bit and made the whole project a lot of fun. So all the boys had some awesome riding planned. We had some really funny tricks like Fabio doing a bar ride whilst playing a guitar, we had Ali playing the drums. And we also had Dunk jumping down off the trailer onto a mannequin body that we built, where he basically lands on top of me. One of the tricks I had early on was actually doing a hippie hop, then trying to play the keyboard with my toes, landing back on the bike on the other side of the keyboard. The keyboard had to be pretty high for my bars to clear underneath, and there was a couple of mishaps, one of which where I got the handlebar right between my legs. And it didn't really give me much confidence for the much bigger and harder trick I had planned for the end of the video, the Hippy Hop Knee Slide.
That hurts.
So the Hippy Hop Knee Slide required quite a specific setup. We had a bunch of trussing spare from the drop and roll rig that we made into a nice big stage, covered it in ply, and then covered the top in perspex, which was going to be nice and slidey. Like a few of the other tricks in this series, I really wasn't too sure if the Hippy Hop Knee Slide was going to work. It's just a real case of trial and error. So once we had the stage set up, the lighting set up, and the smoke machine set up, it was just a case of polishing it up, setting up the cameras, and giving it a try. The first thing we had to find out was whether or not the knee slide part was going to work of the trick. I rode it a few times and I managed to kind of slide across it, which was pretty satisfying.
Well, by a knee slide, it's more of an ass slide. Starts getting much stuff.
In the beginning, taking a run up at the stage was quite scary actually. The perspex had quite a sharp edge and you're really having to move fast to get enough speed to carry on sliding over the top. So the second part of the trick, trying to work out the timing between me knee sliding and the bike coming out at the right time for me to land on it at the far side of the stage. So after the first few goes, it soon became clear that we're going to have to modify the bike in some way. Because of the friction from the knee slide, the bike was rolling out the other side of the stage way too fast, and there was no chance of me being able to land back on it. So what I ended up doing is doing what no bike mechanic would ever try to do, is trying to make my brakes rub really hard.
Tuning my brakes up to actually have my bike running slower. For once I'm making them rub so that the bike slows down along with me and so I land back on it. Awesome! Definitely on.
After modifying the brakes, it was definitely helping and there was more chance of me landing on the bike. But what we didn't realise is that it was making the bike unstable. Because it's ghosting along, without me on it, there's quite a lot of friction on the front brake and the rear brake. Kind of started making the wheels dance around, and I was a little bit scared of getting a handlebar between the legs again, like I did in the other hippie hop. We even resorted to taping on some ball bag socks over the toes of my shoes to speed me up during the knee slide.
Well, because the 510s are so grippy, they slow me down on the plastic, so I've got my old ball bag socks here. I'm kind of duct tape to the front of my shoes. Boom!
By the time we started to get the timing right between myself and the bike, it was then a case of just giving it lots and lots and lots of goes. We had quite a simple camera set up, some static cameras on the side, and we had a big jib going up. There was nobody running around with steady cams or movies. That was lucky because it ended up taking me hundreds of tries. I was definitely under quite a bit of pressure that night because it was my last day of filming before I went off to film in Switzerland the next day, so I really had to get the Hippy Hop Knee Slide landed. Otherwise I wouldn't really have a banger for my part in This Is Drop and Roll.
I had something like this in my head for the last 3 years or something. Kind of wanted to do it for a few different projects. I'm kind of pleased it's come down to this one because it kind of fits in well with the whole theme. Very surreal. I can't believe that I'm actually sliding across this thing and the bike's staying straight and it's there for me to get.
I would say in the night I definitely went through a lot of different emotions. You know, after a few hundred goes, I was starting to doubt whether or not it was possible for me to land it. But you just have to persevere. The key is believing that the next time is the one that you're going to land.
Kill it! I will kill it!
So we started filming at 7:30 in the evening. I was still giving it attempts at 2 AM in the morning. By that point, all the crew were getting pretty fatigued as well, and I must have given it maybe about 240 goes or something like that, and really kind of getting to the point where I was going to maybe have to give it up. Around about 2:30 in the morning, I think I said it was my last go, probably my 10th last go of the night actually. I finally cycled up to the stage, jumped off, landed on my knees, slid across, and then as I come off the end of the stage, my bike appears and I land to pedals and roll away. The whole team were pretty ecstatic. I think we were all just about ready for a bed. It was pretty cool from my point of view to kind of finish all my tricks and leave the guys for another few days to land their bangers too.
Okay. What time is it? Like 3 in the morning? How long have we been doing that for?
So you say.
So good.
So there we have it. That's how I landed the Hippy Hop Knee Slide and This Is Drop and Roll. Definitely one of the wackiest tricks from one of the craziest films that I've done over the years. Yeah, make sure you go and watch the other archive episodes on my channel. As always, thanks for watching.